What's up YouTube, Dan here, and welcome to another FIFA 13 video. So today, instead of doing a career mode video or an ultimate team video, I'm going to be speaking about this idea I had for legend cards. So EA have obviously done team of the season, they've done team of the year, and they've also obviously done man of the match cards. So I think they should do legend cards because this is going to be players that obviously have had a really good career, and maybe some of them in terms of Beckham is retiring at the end of the season, and this also can include players like Pele, Maradona, obviously players like Cruyff, Zidane, and I've just picked out some of the players in my opinion probably in the last 10-20 years have been probably the best players and players that kids look up to, you could say. So you've got Ryan Giggs, obviously been at Man United since he was a teenager. You got Thierry Henry, who's been a lot of places, but I think his best times were at Arsenal. And you got David Beckham again, played for Man United as a teenager but then moved on to teams like PSG, Real Madrid and LA Galaxy. So I'm going to speak about them in a minute. I've got quite a lot of detail into them, but the first thing I'd like to say is that in the comment section below, leave what types of players do you think FIFA 13 or FIFA 14 or even FIFA 15, what players do you think they should release, and how many players do you think they should release? And I'm just going to quickly talk about the restrictions, because obviously you won't be allowed to use these in like a gold cup, because obviously these players will just be immensely overpowered. Look at Giggs' stats I've actually put on them. Maybe they'll be even better, because obviously when he was about 18, 19, 20 years old, he had amazing pace and he was one of the quickest players in the BPL, but obviously he's a bit slower now, but I will be talking about him in a minute. So leave your ideas for players, say Zidane, you could say Cruyff, you got Pele, Maradona. Leave your stats do you think they should have, and what do you think their best players or their best clubs were at the time. So as I said, I think they should be like a separate league for these types of players, obviously these legend cards. And I think that's my opinion, because these players are going to be rated around 90, but in my opinion I think they should be rated around 85 to 90. And I just think the EA actually release this, it'll get so much people just opening packs trying to buy these players, and they'll be so rare as well, because I reckon they'll only put like 2 or 3 on the market, and they'll be worth so much as well. So that's why I picked these players, and I think they'll be a really good idea for future FIFAs. So the first player we've got is Ryan Giggs, obviously a left winger, and he was actually a left winger back in his time in obviously the 1990s to 2000s, early 2000s, and I've put him as 86 pace. I think that should be 90 looking back on that. His shot was immense, and I've actually put it at 87 shot. And probably his best moment for me is when in the semi-final of the FA Cup in, I think it was 1999, when Man United actually won the treble. He actually went past about 5 or 6 players in the 120th minute in the FA Cup semi-final extra time, and then he blasted it past, I think it was David Seaman at the time, and put it into the back of the net. And he scored so many goals over the years, and he's still got that record of scoring every season since the BPL started. That's how long, if you don't know about English football, Giggs has been around since the start of the BPL, which is, I think it was 1991, I think it was. Tell me in the comment section below if you know. And again, his dribbling is probably his best stat. I've actually put it as 84, but I think that should be around maybe the 89-90 mark, because he has some great dribbling, and obviously he's played at Man United all his life, and I think he should be rated around 86. So our second player is going to be Thierry Henry. He played for Arsenal, and I think the majority of his career was spent at Arsenal. I think his best times were at Arsenal, and obviously he was in a team that won every game, or not every game, they were unbeaten every game of one season, which was just immense. And as you can see, I've put him up to 89 pace, 85 shot, and 84 dribbling, and 88 rated. That could be increased depending on what FIFA think about this. And if this is ever introduced into a FIFA game, just even you guys can make a video on this. I think a lot of people do think about this. What if they did have legend cards on future FIFAs? Like, I don't think it'll be on FIFA 14, but if enough people make videos about this kind of thing, I reckon they'll probably put it on FIFA 15 for like an extra league or like extra players, and maybe you won't be allowed to play them in the Gold Cup, as I said earlier in the video. So Thierry Henry obviously scored 226 goals. I think he's just behind Alan Shearer, who I think he scored 262 or 260 goals, sorry, my mistake, but he was second top all-time goal scorer. I think he moved in 2003 from Juventus and then left to Barcelona in 2008. And yes, I had a great career at Barcelona, obviously winning the Champions League, and then I think he plays for Red Bull now. He's not having the same success, but still scoring a lot of goals, because he has scored the bicycle kick. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out on YouTube. But he scored some fantastic goals over the seasons, and remember, 226 goals for Arsenal in 5 seasons, which is absolutely crazy. I think it's 6 seasons, but you can tell me in the comment section below. So our third player, probably the one that's probably the most iconic English player of all time, in terms of just an ambassador, just an inspiration for kids. He scored so many great goals over the seasons, and he played, I think his best season was at Man United from, I think it was 1995 to 2003, and then he moved to Real Madrid, then went on to LA Galaxy, and then went to PSG, and he's had success at every team he's been at. And obviously at Man United he won the Champions League in 1999 and a couple of Barclays Premier League. So obviously at Real Madrid he did win a lot of titles, because obviously that was a team when Figo was around, Zidane, Fat Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo, but Fat Ronaldo, just the perfect attacking lineup. And I think he was a right mid. He didn't have the best of pace, but his crossing and his passing was just out of this world. And his crossing, his corners, his free kicks. His best moment probably for me was his goal against Greece. So much pressure on him after obviously getting that red card against Greece in 1998, I think it was. But he scored that free kick in the last minute to send England to, I think it was the World Cup. I think it was a World Cup. I have to look that up again. Sorry, I haven't done too much research on this, trying to remember it off the top of my head. But yeah, David Beckham, obviously he did have his best seasons at Man United for me, and then moves on to Real Madrid, LA Galaxy, won the MLS Cup, whatever it's called, and then PSG, winning the league. He actually was there for, I think it was 4 months, and won the Liga 1. So a really great player. So in the comment section below, leave what players do you think should be legend cards. I've just picked 3 players to know a lot about, and players that should be retiring in the next couple of seasons. Obviously Ryan Giggs is probably going to retire at the end of this season. David Beckham's already retired. Don't know how long Thierry Henry is. It depends what his legs are doing like. But obviously you can have players like Scholes, you can have other players like Lampard, Gerrard, and other players like that. And it depends on what players retire. Obviously you can think back to players like Eusebio, you can Zico, and those kind of players from like 1960s, 1970s, that kind of thing. But sadly I don't really know too much about them. But this is rumoured to be maybe on FIFA 14, maybe FIFA 15. But if it is, that'd just be insane. I'll just really enjoy. If I can get one of them in a pack, that's an instant 20 million for me, because they'll go for so much. And look at their ratings, and they probably have like other stuff and like 5-star skill moves for players like Ryan Giggs, because he was basically the inventor in the BPL for skill moves. He did a lot of skill. He was obviously, there wasn't all the step overs, just amazing agility, and I think it's one of the most iconic players. So these are the 3 players I picked: Giggs, Henry, and Beckham. You can leave a couple of players in the comment section below, and I just think these 3 players know a lot about. Obviously they're all iconic players. Obviously have been probably the best 3 BPL players for me in the last 20 or 30 years. So that's about it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and again drop a like if you do enjoy this video and do want to see this in the future, maybe FIFA 14 or maybe even FIFA 15, or maybe even in the future. But I doubt they maybe do it on the next game, but maybe in the future. But again, drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you aren't already. And thanks for all the recent support. We're nearly on around the 750 subscriber mark, which is absolutely insane. And remember to drop a like, and maybe we can reach maybe 15 likes for this video, and I'll maybe upload another video later, like a team season trading. But that's about it for today's video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.